Scavenger by David Morrell. I had monuments made of bronze, lapis lazuli, alabaster, and white limestone, and inscriptions of baked clay, and I deposited them in the foundations and left them for future times. Esarhaddon, king of Assyria, 7th century BC. I had an assignment the other day. Someone asked me to write a letter for a time capsule that was going to be opened in Los Angeles 100 years from now. It sounded like an easy assignment. They suggested I write something about the problems and issues of the day, and I set out to do so, riding down the coast in an automobile, looking at the blue Pacific out on one side and the Santa Ynez Mountains on the other, and I couldn't help but wonder if it was going to be that beautiful 100 years from now, as it was on that summer day. And then, as I tried to write, let your minds turn to that task. You're going to write for people 100 years from now who know all about us. We know nothing about them. We don't know what kind of world they'll be living in. Ronald Reagan, from a speech at the 1976 Republican National Convention after failing to receive his party's presidential nomination. Level 1. The Crypt of Civilization. 1. He no longer called her by his dead wife's name, even though the resemblance was strong enough to make his heart ache. Sometimes, when he woke and found her sitting next to his hospital bed, he thought he was hallucinating. "What's my name?" she asked. "Amanda," he was careful to answer. "Excellent," a doctor said. The watchful man never mentioned his specialty, but Balenger assumed he was a psychiatrist. "I think you're ready to be released." 2. The taxi entered the Park Slope district of Brooklyn. Trying not to stare at Amanda's long blonde hair and soft blue eyes that reminded him so much of Diane, Balenger forced himself to peer out the window. He saw a huge stone arch with a statue at the top, a winged woman with flowing robes. "Grand Army Plaza," Amanda explained. "You like history, so you'll appreciate that the arch commemorates the end of the Civil War." Even her voice reminded him of Diane. "All those trees, that's Prospect Park over there," she continued. Down a narrow street, the taxi stopped in the middle of a row of 4-story brownstones. While Amanda paid the fare, Balenger mustered the effort to get out. He felt the cold bite of a late October wind. His legs and ribs throbbed, as did the abrasions on his hands. "My apartment's on the 3rd floor," Amanda pointed. "The one with..."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?